Hey guys, welcome to a new video. In today's video, I'm going to talk about how I would personally invest $100,000 into YieldMax ETFs. But before we do that, it was a bit of a crazy night. For me, it was last night because I'm here in Australia. In the stock market, obviously some stuff was going on with the Fed, and what they did was Powell basically gave some encouragement to the market, going to hold rates steady, as you can see here, and there'll be two rate cuts planned for the rest of this year. What that did is that actually put the market into the green last night, didn't it? Or over wherever you are, into the green. So yeah, everything's pretty much up at the moment. If we can see here, yep, everything's at around 3, 4, 5% up. So the big ones are the more volatile ones. SMCY Misty up 5%. Even Tesla is up 4%. LFGY Coney. So some of the bigger ETFs are up quite a bit, which is good. Maybe not so good for me because I had a bit of money that I was planning to spend on Misty and Bitcoin before it started rallying, but I didn't manage to get that done. The price started surging of Bitcoin. Bitcoin's gone up, what is it, $4,000 overnight? So we're trading at about $86,000 at Bitcoin now, and it was at 81,000 before. So during the course of 24 hours, about 4,000 increase. So it's starting to rally, and I was trying to get in down here, and yeah, I didn't hit my price, so I missed out, and it started to rally, and I'm not sure it'll go back down. I'm not sure we'll get that buying opportunity again. But anyway, what else happened? We got our distribution announcements for Group A. Again, pretty disappointing, not good in my opinion. I've just highlighted the funds that I have in yellow here. So what did we get? Ybit got 43 cents. I've got 929 shares of Ybit, so that's a $405 distribution amount. Tesla, I've got 374 shares, and that came in 46 cents, sorry. So pretty disappointing, but I mean, Tesla's been getting smashed politically and in the stock market, hasn't it? I'm avoiding Tesla and anything kind of Elon related, to be honest, at this moment, just until things calm down a bit. But yeah, sentiment around that is not good, so I'm avoiding Tesla at the moment. LFGY actually did pretty good compared to the two previous weeks, and considering the price, the share price of LFGY, it's at 47 cents, which is pretty strong, and I'm going to talk about that more as part of the 100K budget investment that I would recommend. So YMAG 8 cents, not great, and ULTY 9 cents, but it's turned into a weekly, and that's actually not too bad. It's at like 50% for me, but yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, so yeah, I mean, not great distributions, but looks like the market's had it hit the bottom. Maybe, let's hope it's had its correction, and we're going to see share prices move up. Well, let's get into what we're talking about today, how I would invest $100,000 into YieldMax. So first off, Misty. That's my biggest one that I would invest in. And we've got LFGY, which is weekly, Coney, SMCY, PLTY, NVDY, NVIDIA, YMAX, YMAG, QDTY, all weeklies. And I've just got Fiat here. And I'll talk about that a bit later. But yeah, here, if you go to the allocation column, I have got 60% into Misty. You might think that's quite big, but there is a reason that Misty is the most popular YieldMax ETF, and that's because it's probably the best. And at this price, at $21.60, it's gone up a bit since yesterday, but it's still a great price. And if I could say anything, these prices this time, if I could get into YieldMax again at this moment, I would be so happy, because the prices are just so low for each of these funds. Misty, $21.60. LFGY, that was at $50. It's $38 now. Coney, that was trading at like $12, $13. It's at $8. Everything is down. And I've chosen the ones that I believe have a good chance of actually climbing back up to what they were trading at before, and potentially even all-time highs. So Misty, I believe, will get up to that $40, potentially even $50 mark. I am bullish on Bitcoin. Global liquidity is coming back into the market, and I think that Bitcoin is going to go on a bull run this year. It's supposed to be a bull run this year until kind of November, December time. And I believe Bitcoin will end the year on 150, 200K, maybe even 250K. So I'm pretty confident that Misty is going to reach at least that $40 mark again. So even at that, you're going to essentially become pretty wealthy, or you're going to get, double your money. If you're investing at 21.60 and you hit that $40 mark, you're going to make decent money just from the share price alone. But then when you add your distributions into it, you're going to be making some pretty good money. So let's go into it. Let's just look at Misty in a bit more detail. So where is Misty? Should be up here somewhere. So if you zoom out of Misty a bit more. So this is the bull run from kind of October, November, December time. And you can see it started. It was down at like $22, $22.71 and hit $45 within a couple of months, 2 or 3 months. And that's what I believe will happen again with Misty this time. Bitcoin's trading at, let's have a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin's trading at $85,000 now. It was trading at 81 something overnight. It's gone up 4K overnight. So I kind of missed that entry point that I want to get into Bitcoin and Misty with a bit of money that I had. I sold off a couple of things and wanted to get a bit more before it rallied. But I feel like I've kind of missed it. I'm not sure it'll go back to that 79, 80K mark again. But yeah, once Bitcoin gets to that 130, 140, 150 mark, which I believe it will, then Misty is again going to hit that $40, $35, $40 mark. So then that's when the distributions come into play as well. Now we've had probably the lowest distribution we've had for Misty, which is $1.37. But once we get into that rally, that where Bitcoin really surges and the MicroStrategy share price surges even more because it's basically a leveraged position on Bitcoin. It's almost 1.52 times leverage of Bitcoin. Then you're really going to start to see the good distributions again. So what was it in October? It was $4.19. What was it in November? $4.40. Like imagine you're entering Misty at $21, but you're getting the $4 distribution amount for each share. That's pretty amazing return. So, and that's what I actually believe will happen towards the end of the year. So I am very bullish on Misty and also the other crypto-related funds, LFGY. I think that could go from $38 to maybe $50, $55, even $60 by the end of the year. It's got a bit more diversification than just MicroStrategy. It's got MicroStrategy in there, but it's got Coinbase. It's got other of the stocks that have been started to use Bitcoin as part of their balance sheet. And I think some of those companies are going to do really well this year. And so again, I'm pretty bullish on that and think that that distribution rate will go up a bit higher. It probably won't reach the levels that Misty will get to. I think it will go back to around 100%, which is what it used to do when Bitcoin was flying a bit higher. Obviously, these share prices are down a lot. The distributions are all over the place. If we go into Coney, again, I think that that's a Bitcoin or crypto related play again, but with your high cap ones, Solana, XRP, Ethereum. Ethereum is going to do really well this year. Trump and the government, they've been buying Ethereum like more than Bitcoin. Like Ethereum's going to do well. So Coinbase, Coney, I believe it will do very well. And it's always paid a pretty good distribution. Last month was really bad, but actually 92%. So yeah, share price not looking good at the moment, but I believe that'll get back up to, let's have a look at Coney. I believe that'll get back up to maybe the $15, $16 mark. So before it was $12.82, then we kind of came into that Bitcoin run and it rallied to $19 or around $20. And if Bitcoin does well, if Bitcoin does 200K this year, which I think it very well could, then I don't see how Bitcoin can't get near, Coney can't get near that, maybe $17, $18, $19 again. So I believe it will be a good year again for Coney. So I've got how much of my allocation? 5% into Coney. And then we diversified away from crypto a bit into the higher volatile stocks, so SMCI and Palantir. Palantir's been rocketing along, and then obviously with that big kind of correction from the tariffs and all that noise, it's dropped off the cliff massively. But I think it was trading at like $95, and that's why the distribution rate is slightly skewed, like 121% distribution rate. You'd be like, that's crazy money. Why don't I just pile all my money into that? And that's because the share price has basically dumped for the past 2 weeks. If you check out PLTY, Palantir was just going bonkers. Look at this. From it launched in November at around $50, and it went up to 90, almost doubled in 3 months. So it hit a high of $95, and that was in end of Feb. And then since then it's corrected, and that's why they had that big distribution amount of $5.90. I think that was a YieldMax record. $5.90, and that's because it was just absolutely rocketing up. But obviously since then, tariffs and all the market sentiment has made it drop massively. But because of its volatility and because of its underlying Palantir, I believe it's great stock. It's tech. It's going to do well. So I think it can easily get back up. So I think that's a great entry price. $60, $61, $63, whatever. I mean, zoom out, that's still a great price, and that should get back up to that kind of $85, $90 mark fairly quickly, I reckon. So I think that's a great buy. So I've got 5% in that. SMCY, 5%. Again, SMCY has been trading between $22, $23 and like $30 for a while now. It's very volatile, gives you a great distribution rate, but I think it has the opportunity to really go back up this year. So I think that again is a great price. Nvidia, I mean, that's so far down. Nvidia's been, the whole Mag 7 have been doing, I think all the Mag 7 are in the red this year. I think I read that yesterday. So I think Meta, Facebook were the only ones that were still in the green, if I'm not mistaken, and it went back into the red. It's probably gone back up now since yesterday because of that rally after the Fed's announcement. But Nvidia here, 1718. So that was going up, and then since that kind of end of November, December time, kind of been going down a bit, and then that huge correction over the last month or so. And I actually got lucky. I got in at 1630. I pumped a bit of money into it because I was like, this has got to be bottoming out soon. I got in at 1630. I'm pretty glad I did, because it looks like the worst of it, I don't want to say too soon, is maybe over, but we don't know with Trump. It's so volatile, isn't it? Never know what's going to happen. But I still think, zoom out, this Nvidia is just such a great stock. It's going to go back up. It may take a bit of time, but I think 1720 is still a great entry price, and its distribution is pretty good. Its distribution last month was actually amazing, considering what had been going on for it. So I was pretty surprised with that. And then lastly, I've got these weekly, slightly more stable in terms of NAV ETFs, so YieldMax, YMAG, QDTY, obviously the NASDAQ 100 ETF. And I don't know what's 7%. I don't know that's because it's so new. It's only launched for a couple of weeks, I believe. But yeah, that's not great distribution, but I think that's just maybe because it's so new. I'm not sure. YieldMax, YMAG, they're great funds, I think. Yeah, so they'll produce a bit of stability, and they both at great prices. Like, I got into YMAG $18, and I thought that was really good. And then obviously things tanked, and it's down at $15.34. So if you're getting into YieldMax now, you can't go wrong, because we really are at a very low point. I won't say the bottom, because we might not be, but we're at a low, and I think these are all amazing prices. But this is what I would be entering into. And then lastly, I've got Fiat. Fiat because, I do believe we're in a bull run with Bitcoin and crypto, but that is going to end. Experts are saying it's going to end around November, December, January time. Now, no one knows exactly. No one's got a crystal ball. It may not hit 250K, 200K. I'm talking Bitcoin here by the end of the year, but it's going to end pretty high. I mean, it's been doing like 90% year on year for the last 13 years as an average, taking bear markets into consideration. But you want to be getting into it because this is going to be the end of the bull run, November, December, January. So you want to start entering. I'm going to start entering into it around September time because that's when the price of Bitcoin is going to be going up. All these funds are going to be going up. So Misty will probably be around $30, $35 a share around then. So that's when fiat's going to be at its lowest. Fiat's actually quite expensive right now. I know 865 doesn't seem too expensive, but if we look at, if we go to fiat on here, just going to change so I can find it. And we do, let's just do, it looks pretty bad on that chart. But yeah, you can see how well it's gone up from like 694 to 876. And that's because Bitcoin has been doing so badly. But when Misty and Coney and all the Bitcoin and crypto related funds start doing really well again, then fiat price is going to start going down. And I think a good entry point is anything under $7. And then as soon as it's under $7, I'm going to start DCAing into it. I'm going to start reinvesting my distributions into fiat in preparation for next year's bear market. Because 2026 is set to be a bear market for Bitcoin and crypto based on the 4-year cycle of Bitcoin. So you want to be prepared. I'm not only going to be DCAing and reinvesting my distributions into it, but I'm also going to be, where are we? Probably selling some of my Misty, LFGY, and Coney positions and transferring it and buying into fiat and some of these other more stable positions. Maybe also SMCY non-crypto related ETFs that are doing really well at the time. But I'll start reducing my position on these heavy Bitcoin related positions and transferring it into fiat and some of the other ETFs. So yeah, that's my position. So that's 100K total, 60% Misty, 10% LFGY, and then some smaller percentages for these remaining ETFs. And that brings, based on the current distribution rate, which is a little bit, take it with a pinch of salt because the price has been fluctuating so much and they've been dropping so much that it's kind of skewed these ones. These are really high, and actually Misty and Misty is pretty low. I think that'll go back up. But that'll give you an annual distribution of $82,000 roughly based on this. That could go lower, 60, 70, based on 100K investment over a 1-year period. So that's pretty amazing considering the entry points that you're getting in at, these price points, which in my opinion are only going to go up. So if you think about your position now, it's so good. Buy now, get in as much as you can. This is not financial advice, by the way. This is just what I would do if I had 100,000. The thing is, I've got no money. I've been buying the dip, and it's just been getting lower and lower and lower. But if I was getting in now, I'd be, this is how I'd do it, and I'd be pretty happy with the prices that I'll be getting. And I think a lot of these funds are at very low prices at the moment and are going to really recover, especially these guys up here, Misty, LFGY, Coney, because of Bitcoin, SMCY, PLTY. Great underlying stocks, and they're very volatile, so they can shoot back up again pretty quickly. Nvidia, that's great underlying, so it's going to do well on Nvidia. But that would how I would spend, how I'd invest 100K into YieldMax. Let me know what you think. If you got any questions, let me know. Let me know in the comments. All right, cheers, guys.